Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today I will be talking about Premier League Match Week 17 preview and prediction. So before I start my preview and prediction, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. We all know that last year was a really tough year because many things happened, COVID-19 and many football was postponed and stuff. So I do hope this year will be better and the scenario will improve because we all know that recent situation in Premier League is not really looking good because we did missed out 2 games last match week. So it was a disappointment, but I hope the situation will get better and we won't miss any matches, and I hope the situation in your country gets better as well. Also guys, I'm getting closer to 200 subscribers, so it will be great if you guys subscribe to my channel. And also for the like target, this video like target will be 22. Everton versus West Ham. Everton, we all know that they couldn't play the match against Manchester City, as I mentioned, because of the coronavirus situation. On the other hand, for West Ham, they've been performing well, but their last 4 games, it's not really looking good. They only got 3 points in the last 4 games. So I do think that there are some decline in their form, but still they are a good team. They do have some really good players. So some interesting fact about these two teams are they met each other 21 times in the past 10 years, and only one time we witnessed nil-nil draw. So I do think that we are going to expect some goals in this game. And also, whenever West Ham visit Everton at home, Everton actually won 7 times, drew twice, and they lost twice. So Everton do have a really strong hand at home. So I think this is going to be a great game. And for a prediction, I'm going to go for Everton 2, West Ham 1. I do respect West Ham, but the recent form line is not really looking good. They only got 3 points in the last 4 games, and Everton, they will be fresh. So I do think that Everton will win this game. Second game is Manchester United versus Aston Villa. I think this is a great game to watch because Manchester United do have a really good attack. They scored 31 goals in 15 games this season. On the other hand, Aston Villa, in 14 games, they only concede 14 goals. So I think this is going to be a great game. Both teams are good at attacking, and one team is really good at defense. So I think this is going to be a great game to watch. So for some interesting fact, Manchester United versus Aston Villa at home, Manchester United actually won 6 times and drew once, and it was last season 2-2 draw. And also these two teams, whenever they met each other in the past 10 years, we actually never witnessed nil-nil. So I do expect some goals in this game. In terms of form line, Manchester United, they've been playing well. They won last minute against Wolves. It was heartbreaking for me, but Manchester United were performing well, and their recent form line, they got 13 points in the last 5 games. On the other hand, Aston Villa, they got 11 points in their last 5 games. So both of these teams are performing well, and their last 5 games are unbeaten. So we can expect some goals and we can expect some brilliant football. But from a prediction, I'm actually going to go for Manchester United because I do think Aston Villa were a little bit disappointing against Chelsea. Maybe they did respect Chelsea a little bit too much. I do think they could have won that game. So from a prediction, I'm going to go with Manchester United 3, Aston Villa 2. Tottenham versus Leeds United. This is going to be a very interesting game because Tottenham recently, their tactic is not really paying off, and I do think Mourinho will have to come up with something new because if they do play with the defensive mindset against Leeds United, I do think they're going to pay the consequences because Leeds United would love Tottenham to sit back so that they can create more chances. And in their last 4 matches, 2 of the matches, Leeds United did score 5 goals. So I do think that Mourinho should not sit back against Leeds United. If he does, I think Tottenham will have to pay the consequences, and I do think they might end up losing this game. And in the last 4 Premier League matches, Tottenham only got 2 points. So therefore, I do think that there are some worrying signs for Mourinho and also for Tottenham. On the other hand, for Leeds United, they got 9 points in the last 4 games. So therefore, I do think this game is going to be interesting, and Mourinho will have to come up with new tactics because if he do use the defensive mindset, I think they'll pay the consequences. So therefore, from a prediction, it is a tough one, but I'm going to go with Leeds United to win this game. There's no hate for Tottenham. It is just that Mourinho tactics recently is not paying off, and I think they might pay the consequences against Leeds United. So therefore, I'm going to go with Leeds 3, Tottenham 1. Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. This is a very important game for both of these teams because for my top 5 Premier League relegation candidate, Crystal Palace are one of them, and also Sheffield United. So therefore, I think both of these teams will be fighting for a win over here. Crystal Palace, their last 5 games, they only got 3 points. On the other hand, Sheffield United, they only got 1 point in the last 5 games. So both of these teams are kind of out of form, and they did met each other 4 times in the past 10 years, and Sheffield United got 3 wins, Crystal Palace got 1. So I do think that Sheffield United will fancy themselves in terms of the history, and also I do think Sheffield United might actually upset Crystal Palace, because we all know that Crystal Palace is a brilliant team and they can somehow perform really good, and somehow when it is their bad day they perform really bad. So therefore I'm actually gonna go for a shock over here. I'm gonna go for Sheffield United 1, Crystal Palace 0. Brighton versus Wolves, this is going to be a tight game. Brighton need this win, also Wolves need this win, so therefore this is going to be a good game to watch, because if Fulham actually win against Burnley, Brighton will be in relegation zone, so therefore Brighton will be eager to get 3 points out of this game. On the other hand, Wolves, they're not performing well, and they did lose 1-0 against Manchester United. It was a very disappointing defeat, but defensively they were good, and they are gonna have few days break, so I think they will be fresh and they'll try to win this game. Also for Brighton, they only got 3 points in the last 5 games, but still they do have a good record against Wolves, so they will fancy themselves in this game. This is going to be a tight game. I think Brighton will dominate the possession and Wolves will be happy to sit back and rely on their counter-attack football, and in the second half Wolves will press more and maybe go for a goal and something like that. So this is going to be a tight game, and from a prediction, I'm actually going to fancy Wolves to win this game, even though Brighton do have a good record against Wolves, but I think Wolves need this win and I think they can get the job done. Wolves 2, Brighton 0. West Bromwich versus Arsenal. This is a great game to watch because West Bromwich do have a very good record against big teams, because they do have a 3-3 draw against Chelsea, 1-0 defeat against Tottenham and Manchester United, and 1-1 draw against Liverpool and Manchester City. So I do think this team do have a very good record against big teams, and they'll try to fancy themselves to get a point over here, because they are in relegation zone, but defensively this team do sometimes play really good, and on their bad day they do play some terrible football. As we know, they did lose 5-0 against Leeds United and 5-1 against Crystal Palace. So this is going to be a good game to watch for West Bromwich. On the other hand, for Arsenal, they've been performing well. Their 3-1 win against Chelsea literally changed this team. They were decent against Brighton. I won't say they were at their best, but still they did got 3 points. So therefore I do think this team is finally back on track, and I do think they're going to win this game. For sure, West Bromwich will make this difficult, but I think Arsenal will run away with this game, and they're going to win with 2-0. Burnley versus Fulham. This is an interesting game because this is kind of a relegation battle. As we all know that Burnley are 16 and Fulham are number 18 at the moment. So therefore, I do think Fulham need this win. If they win this game and Brighton do lose against Wolves, then I think Fulham can be out of the relegation zone, and therefore this is going to be a very important game for Fulham. In terms of form line, Burnley are actually flying at the moment. In the last 6 games, they actually won 3, draw 2 and lost 1. So therefore I do think Burnley is a team in form. On the other hand, for Fulham, they did draw the last 4 games, and if they do convert that draw to wins, I do think they are a good team. So this is going to be a really tight game. Both of these teams will be eager to win this game, but from a prediction, I do think it's going to be another draw for Fulham, because I don't see any team winning this game. If I have to choose a winner, I'm going to go with Burnley, but from a prediction, I'm actually going to go with a draw. Burnley 1, Fulham 1. Newcastle versus Leicester City. This is another interesting fixture. I thought Liverpool will actually dominate against Newcastle and win the game easily, but honestly, Newcastle were brilliant against Liverpool, so therefore there are some question marks in my mind, because Leicester City, they are not really a convincing team, and in their last 4 Premier League matches they only got 5 points and only 1 win. So therefore I do think this is going to be an interesting matchup, because Newcastle will be playing a counter-attack football, and we all know that Newcastle can be a tricky team, especially playing against a tricky Leicester City side. So this is going to be an interesting game, but from a prediction, I'm actually going to fancy Leicester City, because they do have a little bit more quality, and they know that they will have to pick up points, because their situation is not really convincing, because they do play good against big teams, and then when it comes to small team, they don't really perform well. But still, I'm going to go with Leicester City. I think they're going to win this game with a scoreline of 2-0. Chelsea versus Manchester City. I don't know will this game happen or no because of the COVID-19 issue, but if this game do happen, I think this is going to be a very interesting game. Chelsea in the last 5 Premier League matches, they only got 4 points. On the other hand, Manchester City in the last 5 games, they got 11 points. So we can clearly see that Manchester City do have a better form line and they've been performing well, especially defensively. So this is going to be a really good game, and I think Chelsea won't be the favorite to win this game even though they're playing at home, because Chelsea recently are not convincing, and I thought they should have won against Aston Villa, but they didn't really put on a show, and therefore I think it was not a good game from from Chelsea. So this is going to be a close game, but from a prediction, I'm actually going to fancy Manchester City to win this game with a scoreline of 1-0. And also, Manchester City player will be more fresh compared to Chelsea player, because Chelsea player only had like 3 to 4 days off, and Manchester City player did have a week off or something like that. So therefore, I think Manchester City player will be more fresh and they will be confident coming into this fixture. Southampton versus Liverpool. This is going to be an interesting game. Southampton in the last 4 games, they've only scored 1 goal. But still, they do have 3 points. So therefore, this team should be happy because they're not scoring goals, but still they're sitting in a good position. But to be honest, generally, I do think this team should be disappointed with themselves, because they did start off their Premier League really well, and now their form line is declining and they're even struggling to score goals. So the injury problem is also costing them a little bit. On the other hand, for Liverpool, they are unbeaten in Premier League for a pretty long time. I don't know for how many matches, but yeah. And in the last 5 matches, they got 9 points. But they also draw against Newcastle, West Bromwich and Fulham in the last 5 matches. So I do think there is kind of a question mark in everyone's head, because those 3 teams are not really performing well, but still they got a draw against them. So there is going to be a little bit of question mark. But I think Liverpool do have quality, and I think they will beat Southampton with ease. And from a prediction, I'm going to go with Liverpool 2, Southampton 0. So that's the end for Premier League Match Week 17 Peruvian prediction. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and give a big thumbs up. And Happy New Year, everyone.